like some sort of like a threesome kind of situation. Was it a foursome in the jacuzzi?
No, it
And
wasn't none of that. No, no, they had two separate rooms.
okay, but she was recording, but they were being like there was pictures
Mm-mm.
and
So
stuff.
her and Bullet went in the room by themselves, and then her friend Natalie and Slick Kid went in the other room. And then when they got through doing what they was doing, Natalie and Slick Kid came in with the camera and was like, "Yeah, y'all turn up, y'all see what we doing. It's big, we doing it big time." Like, and then they left back out and went back up to their own rooms. That's what I gathered from the conversation that they had about her saying that the video that she made was what made Natalie famous in the hood because of her part of the video. Like I have a feeling like her and Slick Kid was doing some wilding real quick in their room, but it didn't have nothing to do with Winter because she was already done by the time they came in with the camera.
So
If I'm not mistaken, let me ask this. Natalie is the same one that said that she was sleeping with Midnight, right? Am I not mistaken?
Right.
Yes. Right?
he did.
Right.
She did say that.
So
Natalie's
that's
her
already
bestie.
saying the type of relationship or how she views her relationship with Winter, because you can already see she on some type of shit. So she seems like either an opportunist or she's the type that's like she might be jealous of Winter.
Well, obviously
It
everybody
seems
would be
like
jealous
that.
of her, especially in the hood. Like everybody's jealous of her.
That's right.
Okay.
I think she wants it to be like that though.
Of course, she
Okay.
want him to be on her like that.
Right.
Yeah, I see that.
That shows her status. Like if you jealous of me, that means I'm doing it big.
Okay.
But I'm wondering, are we reading a perspective of Winter where Winter thinks everybody's jealous? You know how sometimes girls be really thinking, oh
but
yeah,
it
they be
seems
hating
like that
on
would definitely be the case that they may be, because it seems like the Santiaga is that nigga. Like he's that nigga. They're that family. You know, they have everything that everybody wants. Everybody works for him. So
Right.
it might be.
It just makes sense that they would be.
Mm-hmm.
Because haters gonna hate. That's their thing. And who they always hate on, the people who doing better than them.
So in chapter 6, so we're starting off with chapter 6. Last chapter, they doing big as we see. Hit them up. The mama gets shot, and now, okay, so it's Winter's birthday. They go and do what they're going doing what they're doing. There are pictures taken, right? There are some
videos. There's video, live footage of her big old booty on screen.
And when was this? What was this in the 90s? Like 99?
Yes.
Okay.
It had to be the 90s. They was wearing Car Kanai.
Yeah, Car Kanai and Wu-Tang concert, and we going to Wu-Tang concert.
Right. Nobody doing that no more.
I am. I still go to Wu-Tang concert.
That's because you old like me. If you don't do it,
Wait a second. All right. So, did anything stand out to you in this chapter? Because I do have a couple of things. Oh yes, I know.
Oh, what are you talking about? Chapter 6?
Chapter 6. Yes, I know one thing that stood out to me. Does anyone have anything that stood out to them?
Okay, first of all, what's happening in chapter 6? These motherfuckers is getting caught, right?
Right, everybody's getting locked up.
Is now locked up, right? The feds then ran through their shit.
Well, wait. Let's start with chapter 6. Like in the beginning, like her mom, that was when she went to go see her dad, because the dad was already locked up at the beginning of chapter 6. So that's when they was going to go see her dad, and right before they walked out the door, like the folks showed up to take her mom.
Okay.
Okay. Wait. Isn't that funny how that happened? Going back to how that whole arrest of the mom shit happened.
Yeah, like
it seemed like they just wanted to come for questioning.
Like
yeah, like why are you asking me? They will lock you up, but then again, can they lock her up if they have nothing on? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they was asking
back then. Yeah, they was locking everybody up for anything.
Right.
I mean, even now they are, but like, like you said, reading this book now, it's now that I have the knowledge that I have on the 90s, like historically about the prison system, the incarceration. It's like, like when you read it back then, I was in my 20s. It was like, damn, that's fucked up. Are they gonna get locked? But now you think about, everybody's getting locked up. This is she's basically giving you a history lesson or like a lesson on the judicial system while telling this story.
from a very narrow-minded perspective.
Yeah.
In certain regards to like how she speaks about Black women, and I mean we'll get into it in a second. But one thing that stood out to me on page 63, this is when the mom is like really sitting there contemplating, like, okay, damn, like.
Wait, you said 63?
Page 63, chapter 6, 63.
53. 53 would be chapter 4, right?
No, she said 6-3.
63.
Oh, 63.
Yeah.
What am I hearing?
It's fine.
I'm sorry. Okay. It might be my fan and stuff. I'm going to mute myself, you guys.
Okay.
No, you're fine.
Because I'm trying to cook.
You're fine. So on page 63, paragraph is like, I guess like 2 or 3. I found my mama in her room. She had busted open a new pack of cigarettes and was going at it. What do you think about a sale? I asked.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Are we on different pages? It's like
I'm like, hold on. Our chapters are different?
It must be.
Is it because my book is older?
Maybe it is. Or maybe
wow. That's funny.
Okay, it's on the second page of chapter 6 though.
Okay, so then go ahead.
Tell me what page wait for everybody to get there. But
okay, I see where you're at. So okay. for me, it would be page 91.
What?
Yeah, I know, it's crazy, right?
Look at that.
Yeah,
I found Mama in her room. She bust open a new pack of cigarettes.
Yes.
Okay.
What were you saying, Amina?
I did this book with my class a couple years ago, and there, like, I had some books that were like thicker, some books that were so they do have it on different pages. It's weird.
So she's like, okay, Winter is throwing out ideas, trying to, actively figure out what they should do. And her mom is pretty much like, okay, but mommy, we gotta make plans. Like, Santiaga ain't here because he's not. I want to see what your father says. Whatever he wants to do, I'll do it. You say he ain't? What you think he ain't coming back? She asked like a crazy woman. So I'm just at this point, I'm like, who is the parent? Who is the child? Who is controlling this situation?
Nobody.
Apparently, because Winter's naive as shit.
And they ain't got no boys. I mean, I hate to say that, but sometimes you
no. Oh, y'all wrong. You know who's running that situation? Cocaine. Remember all those parties that their mama had when they had all that sugar and the candy bowls, and her mama was going around. Y'all know her mama got a cocaine habit, and she been locked up, and her daddy's gone, and she's been on pills like while she was recovering from that pain pills and stuff. Her mama got an addiction, and that's why her mama don't want to do nothing until she see her father, because her mama want to figure out, like, her mama doesn't have her own mind anymore. Like, she is now just a recovering addict who can't get a fix. That's what I think. But that's just my opinion.
That's a good synopsis. It's a good theory.
Yeah, that is a good way to look at it. I think, honestly, I don't know, because it's a combination of things. Just because it's like, first of all, the mom was a young mom, so we have to give her that. Like, she's trying to use the best tools that she has, right? And on top of that, she doesn't really have a life outside of Santiaga. Like, she's used to him making all the deals and all the decisions.
And he set it up for it to be like that.
Oh, of course.
That's fair. So that's does anything else stand out to anybody in this chapter?
Let's see.
Because after that,
the fact that she goes to see her father and doesn't tell him that her mama got locked up.
Oh yeah, and then that whole lawyer situation.
Yeah, that is in chapter 6. That's crazy.
That's a mess.
Or the housekeeper letting them take them kids.
Yeah.
What was she supposed to do?
I know, but still, like, damn. Like,
I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I'm gonna tell y'all right here and now. My babysitters, none of them would have let nobody take my kids out this house.
That's fair.
Not for nothing.
That's fair, but
Because
she
what
wasn't.
you babysitting for? If you are fucking.
If you are the guardian, you are here, you are the adult in the house, and you getting paid. Hello.
They weren't paying her though.
They were paying her. She was getting tips she was getting tips every day and going to get paid on the weekend.
Oh, gonna get paid, bitch. Where's my payment? Like they were not. The money was getting.
She got paid every weekend.
The money
she didn't get paid every day.
It was getting funny after he got locked up. So
he hadn't even been locked up for a whole week though.
Okay, listen.
That is true, but there was one point where Winter was like, "We got like they probably had a stack." They said that they had like $1,000 left and they needed to start saving money or something like that. So you think Shorty was getting paid out of that $1,000?
I don't think that. I think they had to cut their losses, and Consuelo was one of the losses, and that was the end of that. Like I don't.
That woman's name was Magdalena. Talking about Consuelo. With your racist self.
Okay. Oh, listen. Don't do that. Don't do that. You know, I was a joke.
The mom did say that she was starting to get an attitude and she didn't want to watch the kids when they was trying to go to Santiaga.
I'm just saying. If yes, it is your job to, you are the babysitter. It is your job to take care of the kids, but at the same time, if you want with that large responsibility, you have to accommodate them and pay them properly. And if not, you can't. Come on now, you can't. Yes. That's not something that you play with.
When her pay her was a dub. It was only $20.
Okay, that's something that you get to your folks.
But if you really think about it, it wasn't. She could have just packed up her shit and left a long time ago, because this is a lot of things going on back to back. First, the feds come and get the father. They wipe out the whole fucking house. Then she got to be the motherfucker to clean the whole house, right? Then on top of that, the whole situation that happens with the mom getting arrested, that's another thing. Then when Winter leaves and comes back and realizes that the kids ain't gone, she's probably scared at that point.
This is outside of her job description, okay?
Yeah. So, I'm not mad. I wouldn't have let them take the kids, no. But
bitch, we don't know what her situation is. She could have had her. Listen, okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait. What if she was illegal?
Okay, her papers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because that do happen a lot too. Because I had two girls working here who didn't have their papers, and I don't think they would have been willing to let ICE come and find out that they was in this house with these kids. Even though my kids do look like them too, because they could have ended up with my kids being taken too, because my kids light skinned and speak Spanish.
Bro, I'm done.
That's a good point though, because y'all know white people fucking blend us all together either way. Like,
they do.
We've heard stories. We've all heard stories.
Yep.
How about stories?
Anything else stand out to anybody?
The fact that at the end of chapter 6, how about that part?
Wait, before we even get there, Ruby, I believe it was Natalie, how she had called her house, and then the cops came another time while she was on the phone with her.
So wait, Natalie called the house?
Let me see. Hold on. Was it?
I think Natalie snitched on them.
Yes.
You think it was Natalie?
Yes.
No, I think it. No. I wouldn't put it on Natalie. I think it was that dude Slick Kid and his peoples, because remember the part where Midnight was talking about how he got in a fight with Slick Kid at the.
Wait. I need somebody to take it back. I need someone to take.
And what happened? Wait, at which part?
Yeah, because how did we get here? Because
I don't even want to say the page because my pages are off from you. But there's a part where, hold on a second.
Because I'm confused. Because when is it revealed that? Because okay, I know, because Natalie and it all started with that party, with that threesome shit. I know you said it wasn't a threesome, but you know what I'm talking about. Like, I feel like
But they did. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. The night that happened, Slick Kid's people, who was the rival gang that was trying to take out Santiaga's gang, set that up for Santiaga to be arrested that night. Midnight, I don't know if y'all read that part yet, but Midnight snapped on her and told her, like, yeah, while you was out here fighting, like the police was at your house because the other why you was fighting with the other side who set it all up, like they was at your house taking your daddy to jail.
Child. That was like chapter 7 or chapter 8 or something.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Maybe I got ahead. Y'all ain't read that part.
Either way. So, I think that Natalie was still involved.
Yeah, because she, first of all, like I said, the jealousy.
You think she did that? You think her homie?
Her to believe that she liked or that she was sleeping with Midnight when she knew that she wasn't, and she knew.
I don't think she was fucking him though. Yeah.
Why would she do that? Then how much of a coincidence is it that she's on the phone with this bitch and then the cops is knocking on her door at the
wait. I'm sorry. Y'all saying that Natalie told her that?
How she know everybody that got locked up? Just like that, you know everybody that got locked up.
Hey, have you lived in the hood? Yeah, you can do that real quick.
Mm-hmm. I've lived in the hood, but you're not gonna know everybody.
Yeah. But that's her whole family. Like, remember, Winter's whole family is involved in this business, so they all are connected. So if one of them do get knocked, it's pretty sure. Like y'all heard what her dad said. Like everybody in here.
Too much of a coincidence for the cops to be knocking right at the door while she on the phone having that conversation with her.
I just want to know Natalie's involvement. Like, does anyone, do you, like, how do you think that Natalie was involved? Does anyone know?
I don't know. I thought she was a snitch, but I mean, I don't know. I
think Natalie snitched her out in chapter 9.
Yeah, I do.
I think
so. When the child welfare people came to pick her.
Hold on, we not there yet. Oh. Okay. So one thing that did stand out to me is when she came home and they was raiding her shit. For me, it's page 70. When the cop was getting smart with her, he was like, in America, miss, all material items purchased with illegal money made from illegal actions and transactions are subject to seizure. Now, if you want something in there, all you got to do is bring some pay stubs from your job and prove you have a legitimate occupation. If those items inside the house are within the boundaries of your earnings, and you can prove to the judge you can get them back. You can pick the necessary paperwork from the precinct or have your lawyers call us and we'll send it to them. Bitch, Winter said that she wanted to spit in his face, and I thought that shit was funny as fuck. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. I like the way she.
Hey, if somebody ran up in your house and took all your stuff.
Not like that. But the fact that it's like, Winter, you think that it's like, girl, you think you gangster. Thank you. It's like, oh, girl, like, yes, these are facts. Everything that he said to her was a fact. He did not lie to her. Yes, he said it in a condescending manner, but it was like a wake-up call. Like, hello. Like, so I do appreciate that aspect of the book. Like, bitch, it's all cool when we flossy, you know, on 20, whatever the fuck, 38 rims and whatever. But like, yeah, you don't run anything in here. Even the
she shit said 38 rims.
Whatever, right? Whatever you own, even the shit you don't really own. So that's how
I think Winter thinks that she's more grown than she is. She thinks she knows more than she is. Like, she really is, like, she has a teenager mindset, but she doesn't.
I feel like it's even worse than a teenager. I feel like she's actually very childlike. Like,
how old is Winter at this time? She's what, 17, right? 16?
I think it's
17. 17. Well, it's her birthday. Her birthday just happened.
She just turned 17 then. Yeah.
Right, because that's why they took her, because she's not 18 yet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
It just get on my nerves, honestly. But yeah, I appreciated that. I feel like that's one thing about the book that I'm like, all right, if I was 17 or in high school and I was reading this I would appreciate, like, this is something that you do, you know, need to see. Like, yeah, these are the facts. This is how it works in this country, and like, you just can't be out here. I hate when people encourage the youth to like sell drugs and then, like, you know, money laundry. It's like, that's not how it works. Like, so anyways, all right. I mean, but you got to do what you got to do. I get it. Anyone have any closing thoughts? Are we ready to move on to chapter 7? Chapter 7 was juicy. Chapter 7 is what we found out about
the lawyer's office, right?
We found out about baby mama number 2. Do say
that was sad.
Girl, can we talk about it? Like, let's really get into it, because I mean, any opening statements? I mean, what else happened before we get to the bomb? Because that shit, I mean, don't get me wrong. Okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh. It's not funny. But it's like it's ironic. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it be like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
he has a whole nother family.
Yeah, and that the whole other family just happens to be light skinned and better off than she is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it be like that. Like I'm sorry. It's a sad truth. It's a harsh reality. Yeah. But yeah. I mean, that's how it isn't. It's like typical. Of course you have another family. Of course. Like
Winter, and he was feeding his mom the drugs too. Like he gave the mom drugs.
Which? Oh, you think so?
No. Oh wait, that's later on.
No! Oh no! No. Okay. I think that's okay. I'm on chapter 16, but yes, they should Santiaga. Okay, wait. So, did anything else happen before we meet to the sweetest thing that she's ever known, Miss Dolce and Gabbana? I'm gonna call it Dolce. How do you pronounce it, Ruby? How do you say Dolce? Dulce?
It's Dulce.
Dulce. Excuse me, I'm ghetto.
It's okay. I speak a little Spanish. Dolce Gabbana.
I'm gonna call it Dolce.
Dog name.
And Da Vinci.
Yes. Da Vinci.
Yeah, but it's not clean. It's just another.
That's the good version.
Okay, so pretty much in the beginning, we see the lawyer playing around with the money. I guess Sterling on page. Wait, hold on. The worst thing I could do was make Sterling think I needed. Oh no. So okay, Sterling was another thing.
Sterling is the
sugar daddy.
The sugar daddy, right?
And what is he giving? Is he like not attractive? Is he like?
No, he broke. He worked at the corner store.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ruby.
Huh?
Mute yourself.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Sorry. I'm about to leave though. I'm setting the table, so I got to.
Okay.
Sorry. Gotta go, y'all. Bye.
All right. I love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye, guys. Sorry.
See you. Enjoy dinner. All right. So, where are we at? Oh, Sterling is the sugar daddy. And he's broke. So that's all she can get. So that's that.
Yeah, she's just using him for the
car. Yeah, she gets played by him, right?
And that's not this chapter though.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yes. So, I know at this point, like people are advising her to save her money. Do we know how much money was left that did she have at this point? Like, what was the starting amount?
In the beginning that she had. So it says in the beginning of chapter 7. It says, between the money that I took out my mother's pocketbook plus my own cash, I had a total of $1,480. A diamond necklace, a diamond bracelet, diamond earrings, and the clothes on my back. So that's all she got right now. She could pawn that jewelry and shit, but that's all they got. Like they don't have nothing right now. Damn.
Can we just get to the
which $1,000 did go a long way back in the 90s. You don't have no cell phone
back
bills
at
or
that
nothing.
time, but think about it. It's her mom's, and them kids. What is that?
And they live outside their means.
Yeah, she definitely blows that money.
Honestly, the stupidest thing that they could have done is buy that big ass house out there in the hills with them fucking white people. Then on top of that, buy that big ass car right after it, and then buy another car for the mom. It just seems like they was doing too much. And like I said, them Saturday night parties, they ain't have no fucking business bringing everybody to their goddamn house every fucking Saturday. And like, they just didn't play it right. Like they just didn't.
And to their defense though, like, even if you're not selling drugs, we see it all the time, because even like I'm in college right now. Like they don't teach us how to manage money. Like that's just something that just kind of comes with the territory. They'll tell you about, and they'll tell you about stocks, but they don't tell you how to invest in it. Like they'll just tell you what it is. They'll give you the general definition. So, money management it really is financial literacy. It really is a privilege that is not afforded to us.
Yeah, of course. Like, of course, they're not really teaching us about like how to do our taxes and how to manage our money and shit like that. But at the very least, even without that information, from like a street point of view, he understood that the feds would be watching everything that he did. And everybody knows if you're making these big purchases and stuff like that, and then you have like you literally have no income, like that's gonna ring some bells somewhere at some point. So I don't know. It's just not a good idea, and they fuck themselves
You
up.
know what? Also, I want to say about financial literacy, because sometimes we always blame like people of color not having financial literacy, but in the reality, most Americans don't have financial literacy. It's the system is set up that the corporations and the rich will keep. If we have financial literacy, they wouldn't be rich. We wouldn't be spending our money to buy their shit. So it's set up so that we will keep going to Walmart and we keep going to like we keep going to these little, we think they're little cheap places, but the Waltons is fucking big money. You know what I'm saying? Like all these corporations got mad money, and there's no way we will ever have that money. The way it's set up, we will not have Walton, Rockefeller money. There's
not at your education level.
Yeah. Like we just work, like every day that I teach, I feel like I only teach for us to get scraps in the world. Like I'm teaching the students to get a job just to make scraps. Like that's all we do. We're making the scraps while the rich get richer. That's all we do. And so that whenever people period, Americans period, when they get a little bit of money, I mean, look at the suburban people, they in dumb debt when the foreclosures happen and the recession happened, and everybody, like all those white people, the only difference between us and them is we don't go crazy. We don't kill ourselves because their debt is crazy too. We just be like, oh, fuck it, we broke. Oh well, we ain't ready to
Girl, you ain't lying. Because and it's funny that you said that. I'm sorry, I know we all over the place because a lot of these celebrities, what is it? She has the purses, Jane.
Kate Spade.
Yeah, there you go. Kate Spade and the comedian. We all do. The comedian, he's a cancer as well. He was in, what was
his name? Robin Williams.
Yes, there we go. All these people, the chef, I don't know any of their names. The chef.
Oh my God, I forget his name.
You know who I'm talking about. The chef.
Yes.
All these white people with all this money and all this access, they be miserable as fuck. And Robin, one of my favorite pastimes is to sit around and watch old interviews, but especially when they almost passed, unfortunately. Like, it's interesting to me. But Robin Williams, his last interview up until his last day, that shit was eerie as fuck. He looked dazed, and he, that's what people do, always joking and shit. He steady joking. That's why sometimes I'm like, when somebody play too much and joke too much, that's like, what's going on? What are you trying? What? Because I do that. I play a lot. So, but yeah, like all of these people, all these white people with all this money, everything that you would think, they girl, it go. I mean, hey, but
like right now at my job, that like we had a union meeting, and I mean, not to go off topic too much, but like all the white people are like, first of all, we're working in the hood, so they're all like, why don't they care about us? They're not paying us. And I wanted to be like, bitch, we work with kids in the hood. They don't give a fuck about you. So like, they don't give a fuck about the kids. They got nothing to do with you teaching. Like you teaching got nothing to do with nothing. You're going to get paid no matter what. It's what they don't give a fuck about are the kids. But why aren't they paying us? Bitch, because you're working in the hood. And it's not about you. The whole problem is the Black kids that we're teaching. So stop worrying about what it is about you. So they're all depressed because Chester Upland's about to get shut down. So by June, we probably only got a job till June. So all of us brown teachers be like, fuck it, we get our unemployment.
Right. That's what we do.
Like, oh my God, we can't get a job. And oh my God, fuck you. You got certification. What the fuck is you worried about? If you worried because you suck as a teacher, because nobody's gonna give you a job nowhere else. None of us worried about it. We not worried.
People don't want to
go anywhere.
Right.
I'm sorry. They're afraid of equalizing the playing field. Like that's what they are really worried about. But girl, one sec, I just spilled something all over the ground. Sorry.
Ooh, child. Oof.
And you know what? I had a friend that had her husband was locked up for 10 years. He was from New York. They ended up moving to Philly, and he was a kingpin. He was in the news or whatever. And he played it right and still got locked up for 10. And the only reason why she was able to get him 10 years from 20 years is because she had money in a mattress, and they couldn't get that. He had a job. He had a PT job, like he was doing physical therapy. And all that money was legit. He only kept that money in his account. Everything else, like all the drug money, was cash. Like he was spending that on cash it. They seized all his money from the physical therapy, even though it was legitimate. It was proof. That shit was proof and everything. She had that money saved up for the lawyer, so she was able to get him out. And then it was like she was in Philly and he was working, like he kept losing a job because he couldn't get his PT license back. He had to wait. He had to keep applying. Mind you, this is like 10 years later. He got locked up in the 90s. I met her in 2012, and he's still working on getting his PT like every fucking year. He was like, PT license, so he could go, because that was good money for him. He didn't want to do, he's trying to get his life together. So the thing is, you set him up, even when he wanted to do the fuck right. He comes out, you still fucked him up.
It's only set up for us, for not us. That's right. Like we know who it's set up for. That's what this whole fucking election is set up for. Like honestly, and that's why shit keeps on picking out.
What'd you say?
I'm ready for it to be over.
That nigga win. I think he gonna win. I think we're gonna. I mean, either way, I think. Anyways, that's another.
Whoever wins, it don't matter.
It don't matter.
It's like, two wings of the same bird. Two wings of the same bird.
It don't matter.
Thank you. Just because they don't, not to make everything just all about, oh, nobody cares about Black people and shit like that. But what are they going to do for me? What are they going to do for my people? What are they going to do for our education system? What are they going to do? What are they going to do about this motherfucking COVID? What are they going to do?
Give you the scraps. They're going to give you scraps.
It's still going to be the same.
They're going to give you crumbs, scraps. Like that's it. They're going to give you your ass to kiss. So
all these people dying of COVID in a Black community, and they sitting around not wearing masks. Them motherfuckers like, oh, giving the shit to everybody.
Wait. We going off. Wait. We going, because I actually do have some things to say about that, but we go off. Let's bitch, because I'm like, over there, you gonna start a whole nother conversation, and I'm ready for it. But I just need to get, because can we quickly talk about Dolce real quick? Like, I just want to get into it, just the disrespect. So it seems okay. Yeah, let's just get into it real quick, because I just think it's funny.
Soldier's not in the story yet, right?
Not yet. No.
Not yet. Okay.
I think up until this point, Midnight has just been dropping little teas. And
yeah, she makes small cameo.
Story. So, what's her name? Mama. I don't know what her mother's name is. Mama. She wants to go and see her baby. Okay, she wants to go and see her pudding. So she's like, all right, bitch, I'm going to go and see I'm going to go and see your father. Big Daddy, he's the one who runs shit over here. So he's the one who tells and I'm sorry. I just want to, it's just something about that. Like just someone who needs someone who to tell them what to do. But anyway, so she's like, I think they supposed to have scheduled meetings, but this time around they didn't. And she just went and dropped up on him without any warning. If memory serves me correctly.
And that's where she, oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, please. Take the baton, please.
That's where she sees the second baby mama, right?
Yes. Okay. And she who is young, probably, bitch, does anybody know how old Winter's mama is? Can we get some, can somebody please tell
they
me?
said that she was pregnant when she was 14, if I'm not mistaken.
She gotta be in her 30s.
And she's got to be like 30 something, because
33, 34, 35. And Santiaga is how old? Because they say that the baby mama is like 25, so she's like my age.
Mm-hmm. Santiago was the same age as her, wasn't he?
No, he was not, because in the first couple chapters, I think it was maybe chapter 2, Winter had a dream, and in that dream it was revealed that she was like, she was like, oh, she said something that they made reference to the age gap. And because Winter's mom got pregnant when she was 14, and she was like, oh well, it's not that big of a deal because we're not that far apart when, you know, in comparison to you when you got with Winter's mom. Yes. So he's grown. He's a grown ass man. He's like in his 40s. So my point is like, okay, so you got this. I look at the contrast. I feel like Winter's mom is black, and the second his son, and that's another thing. She had his son. Girl, can we talk about it? Like, I really do feel like if I don't know, I feel like they did need some, like, a balance of male energies. There was too many women in that house. I'm sorry, I hate to say that, but
I think
the soldier does that.
What do you think? Like, because the side chick had the son, he kind of, like, I guess, held her.
Come on now, y'all know how these men don't give a fuck about their daughters. Wait a second, I know this ain't no tea, this ain't no news for you. Men, like, come on, women in certain countries, if you have a daughter, they killing your daughter. Like, they're not bound.
Yeah.
So, like, like, if you have a and sometimes a lot of these men, they feel like, oh, like, don't get me wrong, some men do, like, take you know, kindness to their kids, not like that, but a lot of men, like, they feel like my son, like, they feel like their daughter is like their expression of their femininity, but my son is that assertion of my masculinity. Like, it goes like, oh, I'm a man because I have boys, just straight boys. I'm the only girl, so I know this comes from personal experience. But yeah,
that generation. How old are your parents again?
My parents are older. Child. My mom is, she turns 59 next month, and my dad, I'm putting their business out, and my daddy turns 55. So,
okay.
Yeah, that generation, because I feel like younger parents are not the same anymore. Like, that son thing was a big deal for men my age, older, but like these 20, early 30 men, they don't care as much.
That's not true.
I think that is true. As long as they having a kid.
I think it's true.
You do think it's true?
It depends on who they are.
Yeah, I think that, but it's not as, like, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, now you'll get a couple men that'd be like, it's all right. Whereas back then it was no man.
It's cultural. It's cultural.
It is a cultural thing too.
What were you saying, Lex?
No, I'm saying I'm dealing with my son is the only son of my baby father has all daughters that he takes care of. So it's like, in my situation, he knows that he has a son, and Amir's doing it's nothing, like, no, nothing. It means nothing to him.
It's circumstantial.
It's circumstantial, yeah.
Depends on what you value. So, you know, but some men, and it's not to make an excuse, because you should value all your kids, but some men do value their sons more than their daughters. And then you got other men who feel like, you know, the son will be all right, but the daughter, I don't want my daughter to be no hoe, so let me, you know, up the ante a little bit in my involvement with my kids. I know, girl.
And women too. There's some women that will cater to the son because they know it makes them closer to the dad.
Oh no. I think I cater to my son.
Because that went over my head. What? Like, what?
Some women, like, only because I've had parents that will focus on their sons over there. Like I had a parent, she had twin son and daughter, and she would be like, the son could do whatever, and he was just like perfect to her. But the daughter was like, no, she can't, no. Like, it was like she would just treat her like shit. So some moms even treat their sons a little bit better than they treat their daughters, because they just feel like I got a son for my man type thing.
I'm seeing that too. Like you're talking about like women who kind of treat their sons like their husbands.
Yeah, that too.
Like, I don't know if that's like a good
emotional incest. Yeah, that too.
That don't want their sons to be
emotional incest.
Like there is that.
Well, we see emotional incest with Winter and Santiaga. Or Santiaga. I mean, just a little bit.
Say that again.
Emotional incest.
That is a good word for it.
I like
incest. That's a.
Well, that's the thing. Somebody told me about it a couple years ago. He said when moms treat their sons like husbands, it's known as like emotional incest, because they want their sons to do all the things that they expect their husbands to do.
Oh,
like I had the student, he was such a good student, and like he's probably like 25, 26 in and out of jail. His mother treated him like her husband. He was only 11 years old, 11, 12, and she would treat him like her, and it fucked with him. Like it really, like through the years, as I've watched that boy grow. So like he's from 49th Street, so I see him all the time. So I've seen like how he changed. She didn't treat her younger son like that. Her younger son the same age as my daughter. So it was like he was the one. She expected him to do the groceries. She expected him to watch the other brother. She expected him to walk her certain places so she could be safe, because you're my son. You know what I'm saying? And there's some moms that do.
Okay, hold on. So let me play devil's advocate. Because girl, you speak into certain things that I'm familiar with. Okay, so but don't you feel like, I do think that at some point, because it sounds like what you're describing is unhealthy, right? I do think that to a certain degree, like it can easily go left. But I feel like in other circumstances, it's kind of like, well, if the father left, right, and the only person around is the only male, around is my oldest son or my only son, it's like, it's kind of like inevitable for it to kind of fall on him. Like, yeah, nigga, open the door. Like, it's like, to a certain degree, it's like, especially if you're the oldest. So I feel like there's certain things that I can understand, but once you start like, developing unhealthy like actions towards it, that's when I'm like, I don't know. I want to make. I feel like she wouldn't be like this if the father was around. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Like, I'm just saying. Nobody want to be.
Because I've seen in situations where it's like the mother and the father can be in the house, and the mother just has that relationship with the sons. And then the mothers or not the mothers, the daughters are kind of like, oh yeah, you're supposed to do this and fend for yourself and blah, blah, blah. And then they baby the sons. You see situations where things like that happen too. So I guess it depends, because it's also a circumstantial thing too.
It definitely is circumstantial. But I feel like if it's a situation where the father left, I feel like I'm not going to fault her, because I mean, like that, to me, that makes sense. But once I'm going to give you a little more leeway. But once you start taking advantage of it and then start feeling like, like thinking that you his girlfriend for real. But I will say, so from my perspective, I feel like my father did that. In the sense that, like, I feel like sometimes some of the things that he would expect me to do is like what he would expect of the women that he was dating. Like, like just, or how he would expect for me to take it. Like, just take it up on the chin. It's like, no, I'm your daughter. I'm not your girlfriend. Like, so I don't have, like, it's a lot. I'm not supposed to just like, I don't have, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's weird. So I feel like sometimes some parents, they just need to be more, I don't know, they need more cognizant of how it comes off. But
you need to just be parents. Like, my parents weren't parents. I was the mom.
Oh, so you had to play your own.
Yeah, I felt like a single mom raising my parents. I really do. I still to this day, like, I feel like a single mom raising my parents.
that's how I feel like what Winter's situation is. I feel like she was raising her mom. But
yeah, definitely Winter was raising her mom. Her mom was real dippy and slow. Like her mom fell apart when Santiago got locked up.
I mean, actually, should see like there's certain things. I mean, I get. Oh, well, yeah. It's almost like I just with this. It's certain things. I feel like certain things I want to I understand, but there's just certain things that I just don't. You know.
It's just
like,
yeah.
You know what? It is hard because you like. I mean, like there's certain things that you're just like, why can't people just get their shit together? But then we don't know everybody's truth. Like, you know, look outside looking in, you'd be like, oh my god, like so what? He got fucked up. You just gotta, you know, pull your pants up and get that shit together. But some people are not that resilient, and so you just gotta. Like, for example, with depression, like when we like sometimes I'll go through a depressive state, but I can get up and I can keep it moving. But some people, they can't get out of bed, and I can't understand that. To me, that's like, why the fuck can't you? But they just can't. I can't judge that person because their trauma might be way worse than what I'm going through.
right.
So, you know what I'm saying? We got to look at what their childhood experiences are, and so I feel like she was babied by Santiago so much. Like he basically took care of her. She didn't work. She was 14 and he took care of her. So she went from her parents' house to a man's house. You know what I'm saying? So she always had somebody take care of her. She never got to be an adult and be independent. So now it's like, what the hell am I supposed to do?
I agree.
Yeah.
It wasn't set up for her to be, but I mean, oh God, I guess okay. Okay.
Yeah, it seems like it wasn't, but it's like I can't fault the mother because it's like she was a kid, like getting into this situation.
Yeah.
Grooming.
14 to 31. If he was taking care of her, because if you add 17 to 14, what's that like 31 something?
30.
So it's just like if he was taking care of her from 14 to 31, that's all she knew.
Okay, so let's talk about it. So Dulce, however you say it, she is sitting there with her whatever Givenchy suit on, or with her Juicy Couture suit and her purse, and the little baby got she's Puerto Rican as well. The baby got on Jordans and shit like that. It looked like she's dressed better than dressed better than the mama and shit. So it's like, I don't know. I'm like, even I guess they both, not to compare, but it seems like she's still being well taken care of. Am I the only one that caught on to that? Like,
Yeah, of course.
No, you gotta think. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Why? We also gotta think. She probably knew she was a side piece. She was a side piece. She was playing a side piece role, so she didn't get taken care. She got taken care of, but she still had to do her. You know, like side bitches be different because they still independent. Well. They just get the money, and they get the dick sometimes.
She played it well. I mean, yeah, she played it well. I wish that
she was more independent. She already was living without a man. She was basically a girlfriend that had a baby by him, so she wasn't living off of him like that. She probably was, you know, she was working him. So her mindset is different, and she's older. So we don't know what, you know.
Yeah, we don't know what happened. So I wish that I kind of would love to see what that situation was, how that situation panned out. Because we see how, I mean, do you think that you think Santiago was still taking care of her?
Yeah, I think he was taking care of her all at the same time. I think that Dolce or Dulce, whatever you want to call her, right? She might be the smarter one in this whole equation because that didn't coming knocking down the door and taking her fucking kids. So that's just how I feel about the situation. They're not. She gets all the benefits, all the and they not struggling for money. So
do you think
that he don't got money hidden in a safe in her house?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like they're not looking like they're struggling and shit. So
because she probably had her own thing going on anyway. And like she wasn't tied to Santiago.
She was
the mom was tied to Santiago, so her shit could be happy. Don't say was not connected to him, so she was like, my shit's mine. Whatever she got from him, she could stash and nobody would know because she was hidden.
No, it's nothing connecting her to that situation, but the mother don't even know whose name the house in.
Yeah.
Like, she don't know nothing. That's the one thing that I have an issue with. Have this nigga take care of you. Go ahead. So be it. That's beautiful, right? But at least know where you stand in the whole shit. So that if the rug gets pulled from under you, you know what your next move is gonna go. You don't even know what you're entitled to and what you're not. Like, that's where the mother went wrong. Yeah. That's just what I think.
And you know what? That's always my problem with women that be like, oh, a man should take care of a woman, and they don't realize that whole mentality of a man take care of a woman comes from the woman being a property and the woman being controlled. Because at any point when the man dies or something happens to the man, you fucked up because all you did was get and take care of. So many women will be like, oh yeah, I ain't messing with no dude if he not taking care of you. You're not understanding what that situation means. If he takes care of you, that means he controls you and his money gets spent the way he wanted to be spent. If you don't work and he work, be ready for that. Be prepared to be the one that, and they think like a lot of women take pride in that. I mean, to each his own, whatever, but know that you're putting yourself in a vulnerable situation. And Santiaga did that to Winter's mom.
Got something out of it. Like, that should have been fine, but she should have at least had an escape plan, like put her little money to the side, this and that he don't know about, or whatever the case is. Because she knew that this drug lifestyle is not forever. Come on, like, who did it though? She did it. I mean, maybe she did think that it was forever.
And we gotta think back then. Back then, nobody knew what it was. This is the beginning of them locking people up. Like, it wasn't like people knew. You was like, some people, oh, he's smart, he not gonna get caught. He goes years not getting caught. You believe that shit. Then all of a sudden, they locking motherfuckers up. Now everybody getting locked up. So you like, damn. Now what do I do?
Yeah. Where's Jasmine at?
Oh no, she was frozen on my screen.
I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm back.
So yeah, we talking shit about the.
And look at here. Look what the cat done dragged in. Lord have mercy.
Oh my Lord.
It's called next case. Case closed next case. Yeah, y'all see I had to take a second. We're gonna take an intermission. Girl, of course. Wait, where's she at? Okay, they connect.
I think it's still connecting.
Okay, so, girl, I'm actually thinking about stopping this recording. Let me pause it.
All right, Mahogany, y'all. Bye, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
It was nice meeting you, Mahogany.
Y'all leaving? Bye. Oh, my bad.
I didn't hear myself, y'all. Sorry. My kids are talking smack in the background.
Everybody coming in.
To me. I mean, I'm right here. I can hear you though.
Okay, so pretty much we were just talking about Dolce. You read the book already. You remember light skin baby mama number 2. So that's where we're at. And
okay.
Yeah, we were just getting into her, and that's all of that tea, all of that juicy tea that comes with that.
I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna make a conscious effort to read. Like,
do you remember her though? Like,
slightly, very, like I said, like it's so vague. Like I said, because I've read so many sister novels, but like I said, that's what triggered me when you were reading, you went through the first book. Like, I'm like, this gives me a lot of Coldest teas. Yeah. But I don't remember all but it was just giving me that's the first thing I came to.
Okay, so right now we just finished discussing Dolce, and right now we're going on to Sterling and like his girlfriend, and she calling her fat. There's a lot of fat phobia in chapter 8.
So y'all read up to chapter 8. So y'all read up to chapter what? 11, 12?
We're discussing 6 through 10. But I think everybody read like up to 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Next time we meet up, I'm gonna be. If I don't have the book done, I'm gonna be up to. I probably had the book done. It's an easy read.
But you read the book already, though.
Right, but I've still got to read it again.
Yes. So right now we're at the part where her. Hold
on, I'm gonna get my book so I can have my prop. Let me have my book.
Go get it. All right. So at this point, chapter 8, we talking about the sugar daddy. Okay, we had to take time, so it's almost 8 o'clock. So I want us to, we're gonna have to wrap up around like 8:30 because I know y'all got to go. 8-ish. Okay. All right. So Sterling's ass, pretty much my notes for chapter 8 was that Sterling's girlfriend kicked her ass out. And I just thought that shit was funny. So did anything jump out to y'all in this chapter?
That.
Yeah, like I mean that was the big gotcha. Cause yeah. I mean she was talking all that shit and it's like, okay, but he wants her though. Like he's okay with his big mama. So what is your problem? I don't know.
Winter is mad shallow. That's what chapter 8 is about. Winter is shallow.
The writing is shallow.
Oh yeah.
That too. But in chapter 7, oh yes, in chapter 8, we also see Winter's auntie is asking her about money and shit like that, and she's lying about how much money she got.
As she should.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, they seem to always fall on her, but they don't have nothing for her.
What you mean?
Like anytime they be like, you want to stay at her house, I'm gonna stay at her house. She owe me, all this shit. Every time they gotta go back to Brooklyn, it's always Aunt Lori's house, but y'all ain't got shit for her. Like
fighting from the hand that fed them.
Yes. Oh, because even when the mom got out of jail, she was like, oh, I'm going to go stay with her. She owed me. Even she wore her clothes. They was busted, but she wore her clothes and wig to go see Santiaga looking a mess.
I felt bad for the aunt, honestly.
And then her husband locked up in that shit.
Yeah, I know. Like, I feel like there wasn't a lot of sympathy geared towards
her.
Yeah, I felt really bad for her. I mean, I felt bad for everybody. It's sad. The whole situation is just sad. Like, but I wanted to get.
Hold up, while we talking about the auntie, while y'all talking about y'all feel bad for, while you talking about you feel bad for her, and her man was in jail. Let's not forget that when Winter came up in her house at one point, auntie had, when she first got there, auntie was snapping, like, why you didn't call first? And then as she's walking past auntie's room, she see them legs.
Some dick.
So let's not feel sorry for Aunt Lori, because Aunt Lori was taking care of herself.
What's wrong with that?
Because her husband was locked up too.
Yeah, I agree.
She's talking about, her husband was locked up and all this other stuff, but she was out here doing this, that, and the third. She should have been getting some money.
I'm talking about money.
Yes.
Stop it.
Me too.
Stop it.
Yeah, if you family.
Because I felt what Winter said. Like, why is these legs in here and they closed? And they not closed and they're not getting fed.
Okay, yes, I agree. Okay, wait. We taking the Wait a second. What we not gonna do is leg shame. What we not gonna do is shame these women for. We're not gonna shame these women for, how they grieve in the process of their homes being, just taken apart. So, listen. Yeah, we're gonna agree to disagree on that. Did anyone find the quote with the mama? I just thought this chapter 8, she just got cooked. Chapter 8, she gets kicked out of Sterling's house. If anyone has any quotes from there, please let me know, because we can move on to chapter 9, which is when.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Can I cut you off?
Go ahead.
Oh, so another thing that I was talking about in chapter 8 was when she first saw her mama without her hair, when her mama shaved all her hair off because she had the argument with the auntie about the wig. So she just went and just shaved it all off her head. That's a typical crackhead move. I don't know if y'all know that.
Yup.
That's a typical crackhead move. And Winter didn't even catch it from the beginning, because I guess she had never seen a crackhead because her daddy had kept her so sheltered from that part of his business.
Why is that? Like, what's the logic behind cutting off your hair?
Because you can't afford to get nothing done to it.
Hold up, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, what's run it back? Because all I heard was typical crackhead. So I'm like, wait a minute. What are those? What falls into that category? Yeah, what is this? What are these?
So from my experience and from my knowledge, firsthand experience, like a lot of times when people get strung out on crack, they tend to like shed a lot of stuff that they feel like isn't necessary, so or sell it off. So in her mother's case, like she had to cut her hair off because she can't afford to go get it done, and she can't argue back and forth with her sister about no wig.
Mm-hmm.
So, she cuts it all off. And I was just like, is that nobody else like noticed that was a typical crackhead behavior, and Winter didn't even notice it? Like she saw her mama without her hair and she didn't even go, wow, what are you doing? Smoking crack?
I will agree that it's a substance abuse problem, but I wouldn't necessarily attribute it to the crack issue, but it could, because I think I also know she has a drinking issue, so it could have been a combination of both. That's why I'm just jumping in and out. Y'all caught me off guard. That's all.
I think Winter didn't catch it because it was Winter's mom. You know how like kids, they don't see their parents doing anything wrong. They don't see everybody in the world is everything, but my mama ain't that. So kids are always in denial of what their parents do.
Well, that too, but that too, but also like me, I mean, I guess I must be very sheltered, but even me reading this book, I'm catching on to the nuances as I'm talking to you. I didn't catch on to that. Y'all the ones who let me know that she been on that pipe and that she had these crackhead tendencies. So even I feel like the average person would not have caught on to that.
Yeah, even me, like with substance abuse being in my home, like I grew up, my dad had a problem, for 16 years out of my 29. So like, I didn't pick up on that either.
Well, I would like to say here that I am not average and I have not lived the average life at all. So maybe I do pick up on a lot of nuances and things that most people don't, because I have been right there face to face with the stuff. And it's eye-opening. Like that's one of the first things I would recognize about my mom. It's like she would disappear and then she would come back and all her hair would be cut off. And she had been trying to grow it out, and like when she was clean and grow her hair out, take care of herself, gain weight, and then as soon as she go off on one of her binges, she would come back and she done lost a lot of weight. She's dingy looking and she done cut all her hair off because she got time to be combing it and going to take care of it or nothing because she's on the streets.
Yeah, and I also didn't have it from a female standpoint. Maybe that's a female thing.
But
yeah, also, absolutely. That's mental and substance abuse combined. So, and like I said, with us, it's just so complex. So you can't really just finger point it on one or two things. It's just
Yeah. I think it's very interesting hearing like other people's, opinions, because it just goes to show you like it's like the new normal. You never really like something that is normal to you or abnormal to you is normal to somebody else. So I think it's like, yeah.
It made me think about as well, like, I don't know, I heard somebody say it's like a saying, like if a woman shaves her hair, she's about to change her life or something like that, where it's like whenever you do a drastic change, like dye your hair or shave it all off or put a long weave or something like that, you shifting something, you're changing something about, sometimes shaving your head it's a fresh start. Just like when I don't know, y'all all probably went through a phase of going natural, you shave that shit off, right? Start it all over again. So yeah, it makes
after every baby I cut all my hair off. I'd be having a pixie cut every baby off. Every time I had a baby, my daughter was just saying, my 12-year-old, she was like, Ma, when you gonna cut your hair like that again? I was like, I'm not having no more fucking babies, so probably no time soon. But I don't know. But yeah, shaving, you're right. Like when it's a new phase in my life, I feel like my hair is heavy, my head is heavy, and it comes off. And a lot of people with locks do that. My mother-in-law did that. Most people that I know that have locks will cut their hair off because they got to start all over again.
So it just goes to show that like this is not just because she's a crackhead, but on drugs. However, it's interesting to see like, or at least to think about the reasons behind it, or so yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Did anybody have any thoughts about chapter 8 before we move on to 9, which was a pretty juicy one?
And if I could, and you know what, you all, if it's possible, I don't know, you know what, you need to set up a message board as well, so people can put like, you know, their highlighted entry who are delayed and tired. They got to take some time to read the book. Can go back and be like, oh, okay, and now I can kind of get a good reference. And when we go back, when I look at the, that's what they were talking about. That's what they were referencing. Okay, that makes more sense.
I appreciate.
You know, girl, I'm trying to keep that workload heavy. So you know what I'm saying? So don't you ever say you ain't got nothing to do.
Okay. And with that being said, does anybody else have anything helpful to add to the conversation? I'll just joking. No, I really do appreciate it, girl. That's why I'm recording this shit. So if anybody misses it, you can see what we was talking about. But yes, bitch, sip your tea. Anybody, before y'all ready to move on to chapter 9?
I thought we was just talking about chapter 7. Did y'all go through chapter 8 while I was off?
We talked about chapter 7 while you was gone. And
okay.
Chapter 8.
When did y'all talk about chapter 8?
We talking about it right now. Pretty much her getting kicked out. Kicked out of
Sterling's place?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because that's when she went to go look at that apartment with the Jamaican chick.
Right. And then like Midnight giving her $3,000 and shit
at the end, right. Well, no, that was the end. Midnight gave her $3,000 at the end of chapter 7. At the end of chapter 8, her and her girl Simone, that's when they got the limo to go to the concert.
Okay, so now we're introduced to chapter.
The concert, right?
Wait, say
right. Chapter 9 is the concert.
Yeah. So in chapter 8, at the end of chapter 8, or somewhere in chapter 8, introduced to Simone, the pregnant. I like Simone a lot. I feel like she's my favorite. Hey, boo. Hey, tell them I said hi. I like Simone a lot. Like I feel like Winter did her so fucking wrong. I know that.
Oh yeah, obviously. But we ain't there yet. You can't start talking about that.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm just yeah. Anyways, so chapter 9, we're introduced to Simone. Natalie is that bitch. Okay, so did Natalie pull a superhead? Hey, girl, did Natalie?
Of course she did.
Okay.
Oh yes, absolutely. She pulled that. And why wouldn't she? After she made that video and everybody was on her, and that's her life. That's her lifestyle. Like that's all she knows. I fully expected that when she told her, "Yeah, I'm blowing up around here because of that video." I was like, "Oh, I know what that means." Like.
I'm gonna can somebody give me some reference? Because like I was born in the 90s, so I'm like, I mean, was shit going viral, or like was that the first? Like, was that a version of viral?
No. So back then,
it wasn't like Pornhub and shit like that, right?
Wait,
no. So back then, it was more like if you had something like you had a video, like you saw he took it with a handheld camcorder. So that was the thing. So he was going back to the hood and going back to the club where everybody hung out and showing it
on the internet. He wasn't putting it on the internet.
No. She was hood famous.
Yeah, it would be like videos be passed around, like people would send like it's like people would sell mixtapes type stuff. It would be like
paid in full.
Kind of like
very much like paid in full.
You've never seen that movie? Great.
That movie is the truth. That movie and Shot Us. You gotta see Shot Us.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw both of them.
But anyway, that's how the video got around about Natalie, and that's how she got hood famous. And then they all went to that concert.
No, I was saying I haven't watched either one of those movies.
I don't like movies like that.
Me either.
And it's based on a true story as well.
I don't like stuff like that.
Ace is a real person. What's it called? Dapper Dan actually used to dress. He used to go to Dapper Dan's all the time. What's his name? The guy that Cameron played, but that's not his real name. Alpo. Alpo's his real name, I think. Alpo's.
Alpo is his real name.
Dapper Dan.
Why y'all talking about paid in full? What y'all talking about?
But I was like, why are we not talking about the book? I went back to washing my dishes.
I'm sorry. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Alpo and all this other crazy shit. I'm thinking y'all talking about dog food. Then y'all
reference to the tape.
You're right. All right, thank you. Chapter 9. We're on chapter 9, right?
So anybody want to talk about how she was mad about that one suit that her girlfriend Natalie had, and that's what started this whole problem?
Can we wait? Can we get there, bitch? Thank you. I know you're ready.
That's how the chapter starts.
On chapter 9, that's how it starts? Okay.
That's how it starts. That's like page 2.
Okay.
Is them going to the club, going to this concert, and her seeing Natalie up in the VIP with that dude Will.
I thought, honestly, chapter 9 was a key for me.
Since she made that tape with her, she's a star, blah, 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 blah. And then she's like, what movie? And then she's like, don't front Winter, that movie you was with Bullet and her and Slickhead.
But she wasn't, but Winter was not in the movie though, but she just was associated with it.
So she was in the movie. Did you not read that part?
I read it, but it just doesn't make any sense.
Because they said, because didn't Midnight say he seen her naked ass sitting in the room?
Thank you.
Right, but they wasn't all in the same thing. Like they wasn't doing something together. They was in the jacuzzi together.
Well, it don't matter. We saw her naked ass in the same video,
right.
So we don't know what the tea is. I mean, people assume what they want to assume. So yeah. So okay. So now she done got invited to some concert, Most Deep or whoever. Yeah. So somebody take the baton, because I mean there were certain things I like. There were certain things that stumped that. Oh yeah. Okay. So this chapter is when Natalie and when they're getting to it. All right. So they're at the concert. This is what I remember. They're at the concert, and then that's when Natalie come out in her all blue Chanel suit. Girl, Sister Soldier or Winter love to drop some motherfucking name tags and shit like that. She love to give us that. So she's setting up the scene.
Fashionista.
Okay. And does anybody know like how it transitioned from her seeing? I guess Santiaga. So I guess Winter saw she saw Natalie flossing, and then she started to get jealous and shit. And then
she became the hater. She became the hater right away. She went from being the one that was being hated on to knowing that that's supposed to be her position up in the VIP booth with the $3,000 suit. Like she knew how much that suit cost before she even got close to it, because she always in the stores, always checking stuff out. So she was like instant haters, just haterade.
Hateration. The hateration started coming.
I like the relationship between Natalie and Winter. They are not really friends. Like they are not
frenemies.
They are
they're
like
frenemies.
Yeah, absolutely. Considering Sister Soldier always had girlfriends that looked out for her, but yet she never writes about women. Like, she didn't write about the woman. Like she's showing Winter as a person that's a bad friend. All the women around her are nasty. Like she doesn't show women in a good light. Yet she did have girls that held it down for her.
Let's skip brush and floss.
Quick question to all my girls in the chat. Do you currently have a frenemy like?
Not no more. We too grown for that shit.
Okay.
I never had that in my life. If I don't like you, I don't like you. If I don't mess with you, I don't mess with you. If you're gonna stab me in my back, if I even think you're gonna stab me in my back, you out my circle.
Child, what were you saying? Go ahead.
No, I'm saying I used to have a friend like that, but when I was in high school, but not like me hating. I just don't carry that.
Okay, yeah.
But my thing is I always had a friend that was always like in competition with me, or she would make competition. It's like, can we just be friends, bitch? Can we just compliment each other, bitch? Do we not have to try to go after the state, or if I date somebody, you have to try to go after them, or like, can we not do that? Like,
wow, you have somebody like that. That's crazy.
And there's a good, but I don't need that type of energy in my life. Like
that's like constant competition. That energy is crazy.
Yes, but some people are just that way. Some people just can't be happy with other people or congratulate other people. Like I'm not gonna be your friend if I feel the need to be in competition with you. That's stupid. Like
I'll be honest. Okay, so I have a friend, and I don't want to say it's like a competition, but I do feel like to some degree, like when we go out, it's like, okay, we're two pretty bitches, and like I don't know, there's just certain, like it's like a little friendly competition to a certain degree. Like, all right, like, but we enjoy it. Like to me, I feel like we both, and we've had like somewhat of a conversation about it, but I feel like me and this girl, we keep each other up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that's how but it's not like toxic.
That's crazy. I think it's a
And
cancer.
some people are not business out there like that.
No, bitch. No, ho. You thought.
You said what happened, Lexus?
Like, I really think that's a cancer thing.
Yeah, like it's like really nice, nasty.
I'm like that. I have a friend like that.
Yeah.
Like exactly the same way.
Yeah.
It's like competitive.
A little bit friendly.
I think when I was in my 20s,
like I consider her my real friend. Like I'll come around, like I'll come through for her. Like we talk all the time, but when it's like I don't know, there's just something about
it. Hold up. But let me tell you something else. How many of you all have a sister?
None.
I got sisters.
I have 4.
That's
I
what,
have
that's
3
what
sisters,
it's about.
and I only talk to
and that's
2
what
of
it's
them.
about. Because if you don't have a sister, it's always like a sibling rivalry or competition. It's the same thing, so that you don't have a sister.
My sister did this to me. So sibling rivalry is a big deal.
So that's what y'all are going through. What you're going through with your friends.
No, I got 4 sisters.
Rivalry. It's your local.
I wouldn't do that with my sister.
I don't have any sisters.
Okay, and I have 4.
That's what I'm saying. That's the point. It's the rivalry. It's always some type of rivalry. If it wasn't your friend, it would be your sibling, your sisters.
And since I don't have
cousin.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what my case is because I got 4 sisters, 2 older, 2 younger.
Whoa,
like it's a whole different thing, and I'm still like that with my friend Marquita.
Yeah, I when I was younger in my 20s, I don't really have people I hang with anymore. Like most of the women that I'm friends with, it's more on like an educational, political, like we're trying to better the community now. But when I was younger, when I used to hang out and stuff, I always thought I was ugly, and I didn't. That hindsight is 2020. So now I look back, I think we were competing, and I never knew it then. But I was told later on things that prescribe, like that things that happened at the time I didn't know about. I found out maybe like a month later, 2 months later. And you don't
have any siblings, any sisters whatsoever.
I have any sisters. Nope.
Yeah, I don't have any sisters either.
Yeah, see, I know about you.
Whatever.
And I don't have any girlfriends like that. I hang with. Like if I go out by myself.
I had frenemies in high school, but when I moved here to Philly, I didn't have anybody. I didn't have any friends. So anybody I made from that point on was like I got to choose whether or not we was going to have that type of relationship, and I just chose not to have those type of relationships. I don't need no competition. You need to hook me up, and I need to hook you up, and that's it.
And the only reason why I'm saying that, because on a personal level, I'm 41 years old. I have a sister who's older than me, and by if you look at it from if you line shit up and you want to do a checkboard, she's successful, but yet she still feels that she needs to be in competition with her baby sister. And it's always a back and forth, yo. It's still crazy. Like my mom, my mom calls me and like, yo, I'm like, Ma, it's not me. It's like, talk to your daughter. It is crazy. And like, she's the oldest, and I'm like, she is still so petty and vindictive. It's like she can't stand me getting it's crazy. She can't stand me getting no credit, no attention. It's like, yo, what's the problem? So I understand that. Like what you don't get from the family standpoint, that is reciprocated or repaired through the friend standpoint.
So what do y'all think is Winter's issue about, like, why is she always in it with Natalie then? She does have 3 little sisters. She has a set of twin sisters, and she has Portia. Like, she has sisters that she can be competing with. Portia's competing with her, obviously, because Portia got her, Portia behind her 6.
Right.
Excuse me. I think that it's not set up for her to be copacetic with these women. Like, I feel like, especially, and y'all gonna have to give me some context, but especially back then in the 90s and in the 90s and shit, it doesn't seem like,
there was a big sisterhood issue.
Yeah, like, okay, remember when I said, Robin, I know you're not in the chat, but, well, you're not frequent in the chat, but I sent like a video of Maya, not Maya, Tamia, whatever her name is, and she was like, Shantae's got him. That one. And I was like, is this women's empowerment? Like, just talk. Oh, I'm sorry that your man isn't coming home. I'm sorry that your man is whooping your ass, but mine isn't. Like, it's like, I'm like, is that what the fuck y'all was telling each other back? Is that what the women was telling each other back in the 90s?
You know, it's funny. Me and Shantae, my best friend, was talking about that earlier today. Like, we was apologizing to each other because back then we both went to middle school and high school together, and we are now we're both 35 years old, and we're realizing like how much stuff we went through in high school that we didn't know. And we were supposed to be best friends, but we wasn't asking about what you was doing outside of school or what was going on with you outside of school. We saw each other at school. Before, when we was in middle school, we used to do sleepovers. We was a lot closer, but as we got a little bit older, we started going off into our own little cliques at school, and we stopped checking in with each other because we were just like, oh, I see you, you at school, you cool, you alive, all right, cool. You know, it just became like a surface check-in. And I think that was the epitome of like how we was acting back in the 90s and the early 2000s. We was just like,
yeah, but I don't think that's it's not just a 90s thing. I think that's a hood thing. Like, if you really I work with girls and we have fights, and the fights are always over the shit that was said on the weekend, over boys, and over who got what and who doesn't have what. It's because the hood and poverty is the way it's set up like that. It's set up that people in poverty are good, and women are supposed to. They're always competing for a man, and they're always competing for being pretty. It's such a big thing. Like, those are the conversations I have with my female students all the time. I'm like, listen, just because you're pretty doesn't mean the other one is less prettier than you. Just because you're light skinned and she's dark skinned doesn't mean your beauty is beauty in where it is at. It got nothing.
Tap me in, because I have a question. I know we're kind of going off topic with Natalie and shit, but Natalie and Winter, but I'm gonna bring it back. Let me ask y'all, do you feel like it's somewhat of a generational thing as well? Because me, listen, okay, I see you shaking your head. Okay, listen. So me, like, I'm 26. I was born in 94. And I don't know, I don't want to take the conversation too off topic, but like, you see with like Jaguar, right? I don't know if y'all seen Jaguar, right?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
I used to watch her in the clubs back in the day.
I'm gonna tap in, and I know you gonna tap in right after me, boo.
Yes. Okay, wait, real quick.
Tapping in.
Yes, real quick. So we all are aware of Jaguar Wright and why she's in the news recently, regardless of what you knew of her about her prior. One thing, I wasn't familiar with her prior to now, but one thing about her that I like her, but one thing about her that I don't like, and I recognize with like the whole Shantae's got a man conversation, is like, I feel like generationally, like I feel like my generation and Gen Z, we're more open to like, I feel like we have a better understanding of women's empowerment. Like, I feel like we do. And I feel like with older generation, especially like my mom's generation and like her mom's generation, them 60s babies, them 20s babies, like I feel like the system was set up for them to be in competition with each other more, and that's why you see women in older generations or the past generations being more competitive than.
Tap me in.
Okay, does any
tap me in.
Do I need to clarify or?
I get what you're saying. Go ahead.
All right.
Okay, I'm tapping it.
I'm not feeling that. Say what you gotta say, but I'm not feeling that. My grandma, her friends were tight.
I'm gonna tap in real quick, and I'm gonna make my short and sweet so everybody else can give their take on it. Jasmine, your perception is based off of course, your reality, your upbringing, your generation. You were born in 94. In 94, that was like the last edge of the last good R&B girl movement. When I say we had some of the best R&B artists, female artists, empowerment, talking about all that good shit, and still going into almost like eclipsing into the 2000s, because you still had like they were pushing out like the legends, but they were bringing in like Destiny's Child and all these other new artists, and they were still trying to teeter on as artists like Whitney and Toni Braxton and stuff like that. So we had artists like that push women empowerment. Now, again, you've grown up in a generation of technology. So you have access to more information and knowledge than anybody else has had. So that's also an advantage and a disadvantage, because at the same time you can get knowledgeable information, anything can be put up there and be deemed, if you don't research it, can be deemed informational, but it's incorrect. So again, it's how, I mean, I don't understand, and I won't understand people's perceptions, because you have to really be in that era to really understand. And like I said, you were born right on the cusp when everything was getting ready to change. And so for you to sit up there and say there was no empowerment, that is the exact opposite of what it was.
Excuse me, hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. And back the camera up so we can see your beautiful face. Back up. Yes, thank you. So take a seat. Take a seat. Because I'm not saying that I'm not saying that like women did not empower each other back in the day. But what I am saying is that, like, going back to the whole Jaguar Wright situation, like, Jaguar Wright is 43. She is y'all age, okay? She's 43. She's not old. She is.
Hey, watch your ageism. Watch the ageism real quick.
She's not old at all. She's 43. Like, I don't
mind being old. I like that.
Friends, I have friends who are her age. However, I was also raised by people who were older than her, and some of the things that she says, I feel like are in the same. I'm like, oh yeah, you was right. You got them. You was in that. You was up in.
Are you talking about? I'm sorry to cut you off. Are you talking about? She was like, oh, I'm talking about, what's her name, Summer Walker, and she's like, oh, why do you think she's so timid and has anxiety?
Just the way she talks about, like,
everybody
more in the industry. So I'm sitting here like, wow, like really, like,
I'm not saying that. Please let me. I knew that this was going to be misconstrued. I want to clarify. I am not saying that. I'm not throwing shade at any of the women that came before me. I do. However, when I hear people saying things that I deem as problematic,
like who?
I do attribute.
We're talking about the book here, right?
Just in general. Well, yeah, because
we're supposed to be just basically not in general. We're supposed to be talking about the book.
Because the person who wrote the book was in that grew up in that same time period. You know what I'm saying? Soldier is up in that time period. So I'm like, when I hear her saying certain things, I'm like, yeah, that sounds like something my grandmother would say. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's going back, bringing it back to like the 90s and shit like that. I'm like, I just feel like that whole frenemy shit was more so tolerated back in that time.
I think we should be more clear, instead of putting it on a time frame or more so on an age group. I think we all agree that we had those kind of friends when we were 16, 17, 18, 19. Like, we had that frenemy type of situation going on a lot. It doesn't have to be pertaining to the 90s or the 80s. I think all women go through that at a certain age group.
I agree.
I think coldest winter ever is timeless in that way. Like, girls can read this now and they can't relate with the music part, and they may not be able to relate with some of the.
They can relate to the relationship.
But they can relate with this, and like Robin said, you may have been raised in a different way, because I know a lot of the teenagers that I've worked with are just like this. Okay. They are every high school I've worked in, the girls are like this. Every single high school. I've worked at like maybe 3 or 4 of them, and they've all been the same exact.
And all of me and my sisters have gone through a situation where we had frenemy situations like that. Like, I actually had to scrub a girl in the ground that was like sleeping at my house like the week before that, like eating our food, and then I had to like drag her out in the street, because that's how these situations go. But I'm gonna tell you, it was like this thing with Natalie. Like, it wasn't we went back to being friends after that either. Like, that was it. Like, I left her for dead, for real. So
wait, hold on. Okay, then.
Time out. Girl, we didn't know you had a cleaning service going on. You brushing and sweeping and cleaning. Girl, put your leak down
and scrubbing. But that was the frenemies age. That's that 16, 17, 18 years old. When you take a licking and the next day and your skin bounce back and you ain't all bruised up because you're still young. At this age, you better not hit me in my face. It ain't gonna recover the same.
Real quick, can we just talk about when Winter like tried to talk to Slick?
Will, To Will.
Yes.
His name is Will. She did not try to talk to him. He came at her at the bathroom. She was not even checking dude to try and holler at him until he tried to holler at her. Now, with the fact that she is a thought, she was looking at him. She checked him, but she wasn't gonna holler at him until he hollered at her.
And she wasn't on him. To mess with Natalie, right? That's the same dude.
Yes.
Yeah, she was only talking back to him so that she could have a one up on Natalie.
Okay. All right.
It's like you said, that competition.
So can we talk about that? I mean, when Natalie walked in and saw them exchanging numbers, I thought that shit was funny.
I don't think it was funny. I thought it was sad. I thought it was sad because dude, even though he knew that this girl was wilding out about what she saw, he still looked over her shoulder and got the last 4 numbers of this girl's number. Like, that was trifling. It was sad because it just shows you that dudes, he didn't have no respect for either one of them.
Yeah.
I mean,
like, I'm gonna hug your friend in front of you and ask you for your number while I'm hiding your friend's face and telling your friend it's all good.
Though. But she played into it. Like, I mean,
they both did.
Yeah, that's true.
They both played themselves.
I said before, these 2 bitches is not friends. They're not friends.
I couldn't have never did no foolishness like that to my friend.
Like,
I wouldn't have did that to nobody I knew. Like, you don't do that.
With a long spoon. Like, she's never really been like a best friend with her. Like, it was always, I'm calling her to get information about what's happening.
Right. She know what's up. She know what's up all the time.
Telling her what's up. I'm lying about midnight. It's always some bullshit like that.
But then she's not. But then she's also not keeping her at a safe enough distance. Like, if I got a bitch like that in my circle, I'm not gonna be hanging out with her that frequently. Like, I think.
Well, you know, they grew up and they was tighter than that before they got to that point. Like, when they hit puberty, like, they was much tighter. They lived in the same buildings. They lived, they was real close. And then as they got older and started doing that thotty foolishness, and remember, she moved away for a year. Like, you lost constant contact with your best friend for a year.
Her frenemy. And it goes to show that.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I feel like my biggest problem with this character is I feel like Sister Soldier takes the worst of all the women in the hood. There's no positive. She makes this character a person. There's nothing about, how like sometimes there'd be a character be like, damn, I feel sorry for this character at this point. There's no point you feel sorry for Winter. Not one point.
No, I feel sorry for her. I do. I take that back. No, I do feel sorry for her. I feel sorry for her that in her beginning that she had to be born into that situation.
Yeah.
I feel like the best character in the book is Sister Soldier.
Midnight.
She barely has any like time in the book. They just mention her in passing through other people all the time.
They talk about
like put her in the concert, but they only talk about her from Winter's point of view while she's throwing shade on her.
She still looks like from a good standpoint. Even like she still looks better than Winter, even from Winter's standpoint, even though she don't like her ass. But so chapter 9, anything stand out to y'all? Chapter 9 is when they got into the fight.
No, remember chapter 9 was when the next day when he hit her up about the dudes and the crackheads blowing up.
All right, real quick. All right, y'all, because it's 8:30. We've been on the phone for 2 hours. So after this, we're gonna wrap it up, and then we're gonna but real quick.
It's a good part to wrap it up in. Let's finish up here.
This is a good part to wrap it up in. Let's just wrap it up at chapter 9. Y'all, can we please talk about them sucking dick on this?
Let's get to that point. Wait, before we get to that point, let's talk about the fact that she tried to crack him about putting her own to the business that her dad just got locked up about. Like, let's talk about the fact that she hasn't learned a lesson about what's going on with her family right now, and she's gonna try and get into this same business on her own with no backup from her dad.
Well, I mean, what?
That's how young kids are, though.
Thank you.
Like, they swear they know the game, because like Winter is a typical drug dealer's child.
I'm getting more wine. Talk about it.
A sibling. Oh yeah, my brother in the streets, so I know how to be in the streets. My dad in the streets, so I know the streets. Like that.
Right. Yep. That confidence because you think you're untouchable.
be soft as hell, be the softest one out of the crew, and you be like, damn, for real.
So let me ask y'all.
So then she. Go ahead.
Do you think that they would have benefited if one of them was a boy, or like if Winter was a boy? I feel like they would have, because okay, hear me out. So Winter, child, got a pee too.
Yes.
Winter, thank you. Listen, Winter was she's the oldest, and I'm the oldest. I can relate to her in that standpoint. The only difference is I have brothers. All my younger siblings are boys. All her younger siblings are girls. I feel like if she was a boy, Santiaga just didn't want to raise her up to be like her mom. Like Santiaga went to go to college and get her a nice little job and marry somebody, you know, and be stable. So if she was a man, I feel like honestly, Santiago wished that Midnight was his son.
That's what I was about to say. If there was an older son, I think he would have took the role of Midnight.
Yeah. But you see how he kept Midnight clean either way, whether he wanted him to be his son or not. He didn't bring him into the business in such a way so that if Midnight got caught up like everybody else did, that he would be dirty and end up doing time. So I don't think whether Winter was male or female, that it would have affected, it would have brought Santiago to bring her into his business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, do you think? All right. Oh shit! Oh Lord, I'm glad.
Her drunk ass. I'm glad.
She
fell over somewhere.
I almost fell. Do y'all think?
Can't even handle her liquor.
Fuck you, bitch.
All right. Liquor.
I'm on like glass like 3.
Raise her like that though. He didn't send her to the good schools. He didn't send her like. He didn't put her in that situation because
True. He didn't feel like that was important though for her either. Remember, she said that she's like he knew she knew how to read, write, and do math, and that was it.
Yeah, because some drug dealer dads, they be like A$AP Rocky and them. Their dads they was educated, went to the private school, and like they lived the best life, but Santiago didn't do that for her. She
didn't even make sure he went to school. Like he had all that. He could patrol the hospital. He could patrol this, all that. Didn't even make sure the girl was going to school every damn day.
Yeah. Nope. So we get to the part where she thinks she knows all this, and she's out with Will. He takes her out in the green Q45, and she goes out with him and cracks him about trying to get into the business, and he's just straight shuts her down and tells her there's other things she can do, and she's just like, no, I ain't with it. I ain't gonna be walking those streets. And he's like, oh, you ain't gotta walk those streets. You could be my girl. Mm-hmm. And the fact that he brought her in, and she's just like, oh, well, you won't make me your girl and get rid of Natalie while you have Natalie doing all this other stuff. That's the reason. Because remember, he straight up told her why he messing with Natalie. It ain't got nothing to do with his feelings.
You know how to suck good dick.
She yeah, she that girl.
Suck that dick ferociously.
She wants you to touch that little dangly thing that's swinging her back on her thumb.
Girl, okay.
So he tell her straight up that's why he messing with Natalie. So then she's like, well, you gonna make me her, but you gonna still keep messing with her. And that's when he straight up tell her, like, look, if you gonna do what she doing, if you gonna do better than what she doing, and he straight up don't even give her the courtesy of saying no before he starts, like, you know, making himself ready, for lack of better words.
Yeah.
Hey, can y'all go in the front room and clean up these Legos, please?
Hey, Morgana. All right, go ahead.
I got the headphones on. They can't
hear
me.
You're good. You're good.
So anyway, but just like the fact that he don't even like all this talk he had about him respecting her and who she is and whose daughter she is, and then, you know, when she starts talking seriously about, you know, her position, he's like, well, he breaks her back down to tell her, like, this is really what you are to me. This is really what you mean to me. Yeah. Okay. Bye with the Legos. I'm on the phone. So yeah, like he basically tells her, yeah, like, you really just a piece of, you know.
And she found him. She found herself to be disgusted by that.
Because you see what she said. She can't question a man's masculinity. Like, as soon as he told her what he told her about him and the crackhead dudes, she was like, nope.
I find it to be funny. It's like, girl, all while your father is in jail with a whole bunch of niggas. Like, what do you think? I mean, I'm just saying, like, what? I mean, that's all that's afforded to him right now. Like, like a mouth is a mouth and a man is a man, honey. So, like, what do you think? What do you think your father's options are right now? Oh, well, I guess her and Dolce.
Maybe he got some kind of deal with the guards, with the conjugals.
Yeah, aside from Dolce, but I mean, she's not going over there because I mean, she's disfigured right now, for lack of better words.
Dulce's not her mom, not her mom's name. What is her mom's name? They never get to her mom's name in the whole book. Does y'all ever think that?
I just call her mom because she doesn't matter, apparently.
But they named Santiaga. Isn't that awkward that her mother never gets a name?
But didn't they call her Miss Santiaga at one point?
They call her Mrs. Santiago. Obviously, she's married to Santiaga, but she don't have a name. That's so cold-blooded.
She don't need a name. She's his property. And I mean, I'm not.
Santiaga.
That's property of Santiaga. That's exactly what her name is.
But that shows you, Sister Soldiers, you know, her position of women. She makes the women characters like less than. Every man has a name, has a position, has everything, but the women are just not that important. And I feel like that character is a lot like her own mom.
Just so y'all know, if y'all decide y'all want to take something to the party, or if you want to have it at the party.
It has the ingredients. I mean, or the ingredients on every label or whatever your process.
Before that, you recording now?
Okay, wait. Okay.
I'm about to be on my deck.
So my question to y'all is, if with this situation that y'all, because you know there's a huge stigma in the Black community about men on the down low, right? So with this situation being presented to her by Will about how he feels about the crackheads and the you know, the fact that he's in denial about his pseudo homosexuality, would y'all personally mess with a dude who had this tendency or had this habit? Like, even if he wasn't a drug dealer, let's take the thing that he was a drug dealer. Let's say a dude that you was just messing with just told you on the low, like, yeah, sometimes I let dudes do this to me.
Batman.
Could you do that? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Jazz.
If I may, I have dated a man who was not in the drug scene, who has messed around with men before. So the answer to that question is yes, I have, but I because of the situations because of the circumstances and because of what I dealt with him, that's why I'm not really as open to it, because I understand, just based on what I experienced with him.
What you mean? Like, okay, so how far is it? Like,
he was gay. He was gay. He was. I'm sorry. He was. I made a whole video about this on my channel, but he was gay.
Watch that.
Yeah.
Because I need to know the tea.
I need the tea on that, right?
But I just want to know, my question is just like,
right, Sharice, wait. Could you, like, how far am I saying? Yeah, like would you pursue a relationship, a physical relationship with a person that you knew was pseudo homo? Like he ain't say he do the full, fudge packing situation, but he didn't say he's saying, and that's his thing. Like he has a preference. He has a preference on it too. It's not like it's just like, oh, this happened one time. Like, oh no, that feels better.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Why?
Not up front.
You said why?
Why? Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like, one, I don't want to hear that the dude that I'm with has a preference for like getting his dick sucked by crackheads. Like I'm
Wait, no. We taking the drug part out. We taking this just as a straight dude that's like a regular dude that got a regular gig 9 to 5, and he tells you that he gets down like that occasionally.
The world is a very broad place. For me personally, no.
That's a no.
No, I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. Like if somebody wants, like,
but it's
fine, but probably not. No, probably not.
Okay, Lex, I'm gonna tap you in, Lex. That's a negative.
That's just not for me.
Tap in, Lex. What's
no, it's a hell no. It's an absolutely not. It's a no way.
Why is it a hell no?
For me to know that to know that the person who I'm with has a tendency to do this or has like a fetish or whatever and likes to do this, absolutely not.
Okay.
Bye. No, thank you.
Is it the same? It's like, what if a dude wanted to get pegged? Is that the same thing, Ruby? Is it?
So y'all talking to somebody with several experiences
and whatever you do. And
wait a second. Wait, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, but Ruby, have you pegged a man before?
No, not in the exact definition of the word. Like there was no strap. There was no strap.
You play with a man's ass before?
Girl, I didn't listen. Tossed salad, touched there.
And what race of this man whose salad did you do and toss and do all this?
What's the significance of that? Why is that an issue?
Some men are more open to that than others, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, wait. The conversation is starting.
Let's get into it.
Going fast enough. Shit.
I just had to light it up.
Men ain't the only men that like pegging, just to say. Like
they not.
A lot of gay black friends.
What? Yes. Hold on. I'm back. Tap me in.
Black men like
Let me say, we know that pegging is not exclusive to white men or non-black men. With that being said,
answer a particular question.
But that being said, y'all still want to know what was going on in my situation?
Listen. With that being said, just because societally we are more accepting of non-black men, being more fluid with their sexuality as opposed to black men.
No.
That is a fact.
Hold up, wait a minute.
Okay, hold up. Time out, because we all can't talk at the same time. Let's keep
I'm muting myself. I'm gonna mute myself.
No, because I got muted. Damn.
I muted myself.
No, not you.
No, I'm just saying because I didn't get a chance. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to fully explain myself because I'm not. You know what? Go ahead. I'm good.
Okay, so to answer y'all's question, it was for the most part, black women included, with women liking both sexes. But as soon as you go to a man liking both sexes, it becomes a stigma, and it's like, oh no, I can't deal with that. But most women period are okay with women being bisexual, and but it's the same thing with white people. Like they the same way. Like you believe it or not, they believe the same thing we do. Like women are like, hey, no, if he's fucking a dude or he's doing anything with a dude, he's fucking gay. You know, it's not as open as y'all think with the white community. Some of them women is the same way we is. Like, no, if you gonna fuck with a dude, be with that dude.
It's just more with us. But I mean, man, that's another conversation for another day. But
it is, but I was glad to hear you guys' opinion on it and what this, because that she brings that to the. It's good that she brings that to the table and to the conversation, because we as black people don't like to have that conversation about our men that's down low and creeping and in the closet and shit.
I think if everybody's like honest about what's going on in the situation, fine. But too often in those situations, the man is like doing that shit behind closed doors, and then bringing, the woman some disease or some shit, and that's the only time she's finding out. Like,
wait, hold up, because in this situation, that's not the case. She didn't bring him a disease. They told him flat out.
We're just talking about the pure narrative. That's the only issue. Right. Girl, come on now, sis. You already know there are arranged situations, marriages for entertainment, political, all types of purposes, where people are playing a role literally because they know what's up. They know what's up. They signed up for it.
I think it's
stop playing.
Hold on. I'm sorry.
The issue is the sisters that didn't know.
I'm sorry.
I feel like if everybody just knows what's up with everybody, like let me know. Let me know what's up. Straight up.
Okay, go ahead. So you're saying, oh, just let me know. Just be honest.
Yeah.
Right. Why not?
Bitch.
Be for real about what's going on. Like,
bitch.
But with them being real about what's going on,
this nigga is being honest.
would you accept it? That's the question that I had.
Exactly.
Right. Would you do the winter? Would you go the winter roll? Would you be like, no, he cut off? Or would you be like, you know what? I'll work with you because you told me right out the door.
I finished the book. I ain't read the book.
The nigga is being honest, and she flat out is.
And she flat out denied him. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you can't. I think it's a complicated conversation, and me personally, I can say because I was interested in the conversation, and that's why I did date somebody who was bisexual. This nigga was gay, like he was married to a man and everything. I've talked about like he was flat out gay, but he still was attracted to women and this that, and the third. I can say based on my experience, I can say now I feel like because of my experience, I can say like with my 10 toes down, I'm good. Like I'm straight. Like I rather just not. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'll talk about but I do think that it is fair to because at the end of the day, I know a lot of women that have been contracted STDs from men who have been with other women. Mm-hmm. So
right,
we can't. Right. Let's not make it this one-sided conversation. Like, oh, it's
about disease.
Yeah, like that's not what it's about. It's about the stigma. It's
about the stigma and the emotional part about it. You feeling insecure in yourself.
You are uncomfortable with the notion of your man being with another man, and that's on big and like and in our community, that's even it's in heightened because it's okay. It's more acceptable for non-black men to be with other men, but a black man with a little that's a big no-no in our community. Mm-hmm. So,
and I don't know why, because I love it.
I know why.
The black church, we all know that.
We know why.
We know why.
We know why.
We all know in black church that you can't have black church without that gay ass freaking choir director. So let's just not even fake it.
Don't do that. Don't do that to the black choir.
But I ain't doing it to the choir. I'm talking about the choir director. We know who I'm talking about.
She ain't lying. She ain't said not one lie. Yeah. But the point is that you can't escape the shit.
That's hold up. When you talk about the black choir, who appointed the gay black?
Can we agree that we cannot?
The reverend is Tutti Frutti.
Okay, wait a second.
On the Bible, Tutti Frutti.
You know what?
We speak it generally. We speak it generally.
And that was the whole conversation. And I had to like rethink of myself that how a lot of gay students feel more safer with the white teachers than the brown teachers. And so I was like, hold up. You feel safer to go to a white person than come to me? And I was like, I gotta change that shit. Because you're gonna come to me before you go to them. And
we have to change the narrative. We have to change the narrative. So I raise my kids to watch. My kids watch cartoons. There's a cartoon that's out called Kipo and the Wonder Beast. It actually addresses gay people. Like there's a gay main character and he's black and he's the girl's best friend. And then this other show she's watching now, they redid She-Ra, the Princess of Power, and they just got to the final episode where She-Ra is kissing
another girl,
Ketra. And that's like I let my kids watch that because that is the world we live in. We live in Philly and we eat out at the neighborhood a lot. So my kids have to be able to have answers. I have told my daughter about gay people, trans people, like bi people, because I'm bi. Because me and her father have an adventurous relationship. So if I don't tell her these things now and be honest with her later on when it comes out, I don't want to be lying and having to re-answer questions when she's a teenager and finds out. I'm a real bitch. That's why my other Instagram is Mommy is a real bitch, because mommy ain't gonna lie to you. Yep. That's a vagina. It's not a little kitty cat. It's none of that shit. It's your vagina and that's your vulva. And if somebody touch it, I'll fucking blast their goddamn hands off. So
yeah. And actually, mine's the opposite.
No, gotta do.
Didn't teach me. My kids told me what pansexual was. I have teen. My daughter was
yes, you do. You got the big kids.
I was like, okay, good for you. Like I learned from them. And you know, even my son, 9 years old, he knows non-binary. Like there was like, I guess a typo in the article, and it was like so and so is non-binary, she. And my son was like, if you can't be she if you're non-binary. And I was like, okay.
Non-binary, right.
So
okay.
Right.
Exactly.
Like my kids.
But sexuality is fluid, and that's what we have to learn as a brown community, that sexuality can be one way one day and another another way. That's why on my other thing it says, for like, you know how people have on their Instagram is she, her for their pronouns. I put she, her, and sometimes them. Sometimes I'm a dude. Sometimes I dress in dude clothes. I put on my dude hat, and I don't want to be recognized as a female because I'm tired of being sexually harassed when I leave the house.
Oh wow.
And you know what?
Because I'm bi, because sometimes like my relationships with women aren't the same as my relationships with men.
And our ancestors.
But that's how it is too. Like there's bi men who aren't the same way. Yes, our ancestors weren't like that. There wasn't a like a this is this and that is that. There was a lot of fluidity in our history. So I think that we have to get back to not judging people and not being less of as women as our men like sometimes. Like it's fucked up.
Yep. I agree with that.
We don't think that way about our women when we as women go to the strip club and spend money on hoes just like they do and throw money up in the air on girls and let them dance on us. Ain't nothing wrong with us doing that. But if they go to the males club on their strip night and throw money on the dudes, then we got a fucking problem with
That's
that.
a power dynamic. That's another conversation for another day.
Okay, all right.
Oh,
you know what? I think it's general love. It's just a misunderstanding of the information and the interpretation. But overall, I think, because like I said, you know, I'm listening to everything that's been disputed and talked about, and I think we all on the same page. You know, maybe, you know, different chapters, but you know, okay. What's up?
And you know what? Honestly, like this was not created for us to be on the same page. Like I think it's
obviously not.
No,
we ain't gonna never do that. But at least we on the same page in the book. No, we ain't even on the same page in the book.
I think it's good that we have different opposing opinions. You know. So, this was amazing. I'm about to end this. I'm about to end the recording. The recording. Everybody can say good night.
Thank you. It was good seeing everybody.
Be well.